and it's just you and me, baby girl. I wanna put you in my lap and peel a mango like my father used to do. A new day is dawning, and you are here with me.
You're gonna interview the man, sir. Soca Elvis here tonight.
In my lap and peel the mango like I know you want me to. I want to show how much I love you. I want to show how much I care. I know the angels dance above you, just giving us this time to share. Your mother, would I be so proud of you? Your grandfather, would I be so proud of you? He looking down and blessing everything we do. You know my father, would I be so proud of you? Hey. To the youths of today who holding it down and never went astray.
Yeah, man.
Even though your father might have passed away, you're learning your trade and now you're seeing your way. And I like to see the way that you stay focused in your life. And it's right to see the way that you are dealing with your strife. An example of how to be conscious and live righteously. You know your father, would I be so proud of you? Yes, your father, would I be so proud of you? He looking down and blessing everything you do. Yes, your father, would I be so proud of you? Hey.
Although your father is gone, I know we somewhere better, and I bet you that he's looking down. Proud of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Words can't explain. Words can't explain the way that we feel. But I know that his love is real, so real, real.
Yeah, man. So we're on the way to the man self. Soca Elvis, you're not seeing the green here. Okay.
I want to show how much I love you. I want to show how much I care.
It's a live right now, you know, Soca Elvis.
Just giving us this time to share. Your grandfather, would I be so proud of you? Your grandfather, would I be so proud of you? He looking down and blessing everything we do. Your grandfather, would I be so proud of you?
You're on the live? Alright. So tell me what your log going on as well. Alright, so you're on the live. Okay, so we are trying to get connected to Soca Elvis here. To the live action right now. We're trying to get them to log on here. Right, so go onto the profile. Make sure you see it as well. Right, okay.
Elvis, you can look under the bed, you can look under the sofa, in the closet, you'll never find it.
This woman don't want me drink. This woman don't want me line. This woman don't want me have no fun at all. Every time she go round so, every time she come round so, she always hiding me alcohol. This woman don't want me drink. This woman don't want me line. This woman don't want me have no fun at all. Every time she go round so, every time she come round so, she always hiding me alcohol.
Okay, so we are waiting for Soca Elvis to come on the live. I see my partner Young Sin lockdown.
Every morning when I go to work, when Friday come now, she don't leave me with much. Every morning when I go to work, when Friday come now, she don't leave me with much. How she moving so, she ain't moving nice at all. And to top it up, she hide me alcohol. Oh woman, when me bottle around there. Oh woman, when me bottle around there. Oh woman.
Hide in your bottle then, when you're drunk is right problem. Go out and not getting them, go for your friend and then. On the bed, on the sofa, when you run, I will never tell.
Everybody tell me that I's a joke lady. How this woman have oh woman when me bottle a rum day. Oh woman, this woman don't want me drink. This woman don't want me line. This woman don't want me hand no fun at all. Every time she go wrong so, every time she come wrong so, she always hiding me alcohol. This woman don't want me drink. This woman don't want me line.
Alright, I think I got you now.
Every time she go wrong so, every time she come wrong so, she always hiding me.
Yay! Alright, so I think we get 3 here now.
She really helped me like I's a Mickey Mouse. Pack off my clothes and not wait and leave this house. Cause she really helped me like I's a Mickey Mouse. I so
Yes, one.
I don't know what to do. Cause this woman should not hide me daroo.
Yes, we hear new song too. Yes, it's every second I care right about now.
She take away my bottle, she take away my bottle, where my bottle day. She take away my bottle, she take away my bottle, she take away.
That's how technology is sometimes, eh? Yeah, man, that's what we talking about. So we are trying to get Soca Elvis here to connect to the live right about now. It's just loading. Right, so hope you guys are good. You know, thanks for your patience. You know, thanks for all who tune in here to the live right now. Alright, so hello to Young Saints. Right, enjoy yourself. Hi, Debbie Skeets. Good night to you as well. You know, we just trying to get to interview the man himself, Soca Elvis. Right now, we're just adding. So we're just waiting for it to connect. So in the meantime, I'm going to just play this song here. This instrumental. What I just played was a couple of songs that, you know, that came up from last year now. So we're going to do this thing nice and hopefully we get through here. Yes, of course. Make sure you know you're connected as well. Make sure you have the proper access. So I'm so excited to do this interview here tonight. Alright, I feel I want to send over that request. Not taking too long to add. Yes, he is a great icon in the soca industry, Soca Elvis. So we're trying to get the man himself on. Good night to the man himself, John by Lucis. Hey!
Yeah, man.
Alright, so we finally got you, man.
Yeah, man. I know what the problem was. The phone, I had to rotate the phone. I didn't know. You know.
That's okay. That's okay. All that matter with nice technology for it.
Yeah, I do it from the phone. Normally from the computer, you know, it would have connect. But yeah, man. So I hear. Sorry about that little delay, man.
Nah, that's okay, man. All that is part of it, man. You know. I see we have some viewers here who tuned into the live right now. You know. Big up yourself. I must say a special good night to each and everyone on the inside here. My name is Slick T, the entertainer. With me here on the live is Soca Elvis.
Thank you very much. Good night, everybody out there on the live. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to respond to any of the comments. How I holding the phone here, not seeing anything. But you know, everybody send out the love, and all who watching, I could always go back and watch the video after, and you know, send me comments and so.
Of course, leave comments and you can always respond. That is not a problem, and all that's part of it. Right, so we're gonna get right into it.
Thanks for having me, and you know, my good partner Michael Webster, he he hooked us up together for this interview. And to be honest with you, I didn't know about your program before. Yeah, you know, you called me and I meant to join on. Nice vibes, man. I check out some of your last interviews and so nice vibes, man. Nice and mellow, you know.
Yes, yes. And you see what we did, we played a couple of songs from in the past as well, you know, from
Yeah,
2020.
I was on and waiting. I hear you play you play the Father song. That is one of the songs I do with Ziggy Rankin, and you also play the song with Terry Lyons. You hammer music, man. Nice,
Yes,
man.
yes, of course, of course. I know we're gonna feature the other songs, you know, that you
Yeah.
sent for me as well. So we're gonna go right into it. So tell us, man, Soca Elvis, where you originated from?
Boy, a lot of people don't know this, but I am originally from Woodbrook, Port of Spain, Trinidad. I was born actually I was born in this might sound kind of funny, but I was born in St. Anne's in a little hospital back in the days called Nichols Nursing Home. I don't know if anybody know the junction, like between Cobblance Avenue, Cascade, and St. Anne's is a junction that kind of meet, and right now it's a restaurant, the Batty Mamselle restaurant. That used to be a little nursing home back in the 60s and 70s into the 80s. It's now a restaurant. That is where I was born, and then I grew up in Woodbrook, Cornelio Street. So always a city boy up until now, you know. So first I'll talk about, you know, my childhood growing up in the Woodbrook area, you know. So that's why I don't know if you know where you know Port of Spain at all. I'm not sure where you from, Slick.
Well, I'm from Chelsea area, you know, all the way up in the east side, you know.
Right.
So I know Port of Spain 30.
Right. Well, Cornelio Street actually is the street, the back of Woodbrook Secondary School, is where you call Cornelio Street. So I grew up right opposite Woodbrook Secondary School, but
yes,
my big brother went there for a couple of years, and then he got transferred to St. Mary's College. But I went to primary school on Divertile Street, which is people. If we have any Roman Catholics out there, they'll know where the St. Teresa's Church is. Yeah,
yes.
so somewhere there, you know, a little way from the St. Teresa's Church, I went to a primary school, a private school called Barbara Roberts Private School. I think they closed down like in the 80s. They no longer exist. So I think nobody will know that school. And then from there, I passed for St. Mary's College on Frederick Street, Port of Spain. And, you know, so if I'm going too fast, you ask me the questions, I go answer.
That's okay, man. All that is part of it. I mean, we're going into it, you know, we're gonna spend some time, we're gonna enjoy the music, we're gonna just rise up the place, we're gonna do it nice. And in what year you started singing?
All right, well, that's a good question. I discovered my talent at I think it was about 8 or 9 years old. I have a cousin. He used to live in Alice Glen, Pity Valley. Well, everybody's supposed to be Pity Valley who only live there. He liked the drums. His father bought him a drum set, and he started learning to play the drums. His name is Roger Salloum. He always liked the drums, and when I used to go spend weekends by him, he used to be fooling around. He used to teach me. I was very lucky. He taught me to play the drums. I could actually play a trap set too, drums, you know. Some people call it the trap set. Some people call it a drum set, you know. He taught me a couple drum patterns on the drum set. And from that, we ended up forming a family band. So my cousin was on the drums. This was like 9, 10 years old, before even entering secondary school. He was on the drums. My mom was my mom used to play classical piano, and she taught my big brother to play piano. So when we formed the little family band, my brother was on the piano, my cousin was on the drums, and my cousin was on the guitar. And they were looking for a singer, and they say, well, let me see. Michael can't play no instrument. Let me see if he could sing. And I auditioned own family band with a Sparrow selection called How You Jamming So, and Eddie Grant. I don't know if you know Eddie Grant, of course.
Yeah, man.
Eddie Grant is a big star from the 70s and 80s. He had a song called Neighbor, Neighbor, Neighbor,
Yeah,
neighbor,
classic. What's over?
neighbor,
Yeah,
neighbor,
that classic.
I love you. Right. So that was the audition. I auditioned with that song and a Sparrow song called How You Jamming So? Like you're feeling hot or what? Mister, why you whining so? You come out or grind or not? That's a big, big song. Now, when people hear Sparrow on the radio today, they don't
Yes.
really play. For some reason, they don't play How You Jamming So. But
I don't
that
know
was
why.
up tempo. You know, they play all the slower classics, but that is a big song. People in my age bracket will remember that song. You know what I mean? So that was the two songs that the band learned, and we started to play at what you call charitable functions. We never charge. We would play at functions, fundraisers, and that kind of thing.
Yes.
And then after when I reached about 11 years old, I passed for St. Mary's College, and we took a break off for the music because I was, going into Form 1, and so
Yes,
the band, the family band took a little rest up, and my cousin, who was a drummer, he ended up migrating to Canada, and he went to music school from a young age. He finished his high school in Canada, and he went to University of Toronto, I think it is, and he majored in music. And
I think
he's
Canada.
Canada, yeah. He back in Trinidad today, and he's a music teacher, Roger Salloum. Real good guy. He plays piano, guitar, bass, drums. I mean, when you go to music school, I want whoever watching and listening out there, when you go to music school outside here,
Yes.
you like the guitar, you like to sing, you have to learn every instrument, and you have to learn you have to learn the how to put it, the feel of each instrument and everything. And
Sure.
Unfortunately, I'm a self-taught musician. I never had the opportunity to go to music school. But I think, when it's in your blood, sometimes it comes out. I have it. I have music in me, and I could play a bit of every instrument too. But vocals is my gift. You know what I mean? And
Right.
so that's where we reached so far. And then I went to
wow. Eat
yeah,
into the 11 years. Wow. That's really something
yeah.
special as well too, Soca Elvis. And if you don't mind me asking, what was the name of the band for the family? Like, what was the actual name of it?
Boy, we come up with a band called we came up with a name called Who Raise, like who raise, who gonna like Ray clapping, who raise, like way,
Oh, Ray, like yeah.
like who raise, the who raise, and
Oh, hoorays! Like hooray!
yeah, like that kind of yeah. So
Very catchy.
yeah, so when I went into St. Mary's, I took a break from the family band, and I couldn't get away from music, boy. St. Joseph Convent had a steel pan orchestra, and they needed a drummer. And
Yes.
back in the old days, you would never really see a girl doing something like playing a drum set. You know what I mean? It wasn't really heard of back in those days. And they had a steel band the steel band orchestra, and they needed somebody to play drums for them for a concert. And somehow the talk was around that Michael Zoom Salloum could play drums. His cousin taught him to play drums, and they invited me, and it was a real honor. I was one of the few guys that could have gone across to the girls' school and practice in their steel band orchestra, in the steel band. And I did a couple of concerts with them, so the music continued. And then when Form 3 came around, when I finished Form 3, my family sent me away. I went away to school. I never finished St. Mary's. So, but I went to school away, high school in the States. My family wanted to migrate.
Which part in the United States that you got into? Let's go right in it. Which part in the United States, you got to set up development of talent? Because I know that name Soca Elvis, I heard it's blazing right now.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Go into that one time. Where did you get that?
Well, first of all, when I went to high school in the United States, it's in the state of Florida, but it's a town called Melbourne. Not Melbourne, Australia. There's a Melbourne in Florida.
Yes, I'm aware of that, yeah.
Yeah, it's very close to Orlando, more central Florida. And when I was there, so I went into grade 10. it was a military type school. I did some military training. I did some flying, small aircrafts. That was part of the schooling. I never followed it up as a career, but it is good. It was a good experience to be able to, you know, learn to fly small aircraft. So while I was there, somehow one of my roommates had a guitar, and
Yes.
I used to pick it up, and I showed him because my big brother taught me to play a little piano and guitar, and I was teaching the guys in my dorm how to play guitar. And from that, I started listening to a lot of rock music, because when you go to school in the States back in the 80s is real 80s pop music you're hearing, you know, back in them days, you know, a lot of I like groups like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and that kind of thing. Even though they were more like 60s and 70s, but on the radio, back in the 80s, and going to school there, the radio would play a lot of classic songs. Classics would be like the 60s and 70s, and then the 80s, then you had Bon Jovi, bands like Bon Jovi, Twisted Sister, Motley Crue, all that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a big band back then.
Yeah. So even though I had the cultural side, the trini side of me, I started really digging the rock and roll. And I started singing along and playing guitar to some of those rock songs. And when I graduated and came back to Trinidad, I got the opportunity. Soca Elvis wasn't born yet, you know. When I say the name, it was still Michael Zoom Salloum, you know. Zoom is a name I got at St. Mary's College. They in Form 1, the guys gave me that name, you know.
How did you get that name though? Zoom,
it's very simple, you know? That name is not from driving fast or running fast, you know. That name is from that name is when you pronounce my surname very fast. I had a French teacher that used to talk fast. Salloum. He always used to pick on me. You know, I was a chubby kid, and he always would pick on me and go, Salloum. And the name stuck on me, and they started calling me Zoom in St. Mary's, you know what I mean? So it became a very catchy nickname now, you know?
Yeah. And Soca, before we continue,
so
right?
Went with me to Florida.
Interactive with the crowd as well, too, right?
And
are you hearing me? Soca Elvis? Yeah, seem to have lost you there for a second. He just froze up on me there.
Yeah, we froze up.
Yeah, you hear me now?
I hear you. Yeah.
Right. So what I was saying, I just wanted to get the crowd out, the viewers now for a few seconds now. Right?
Yeah.
I saw here I'm seeing here John from Queens, primary scene, big up Nads Entertainment, Soca Elvis. I'm seeing here Debbie Skit saying ASB is a great entertainer. Prince Ricky says Soca Elvis. We also saw John Boy, you know, Lucis, he says that he's another drummer. I know we get some people to share their views and the comments, man. And then I'm seeing here they have a lady called Liz Peterkin. She said she did live backups as well.
Oh, what's her name? What's her name?
Liz Peterkin. That's what I'm seeing here on Facebook.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I have to tax my brain a little bit.
Taxing the brain. I just try to get a little interactive with the crowd. You know, we encourage you to like, share, put your comments. You know.
Big up to John from Queens, man. John from Queens is a real good buddy of mine. Recently I did a little jingle for him. He'll be doing some radio advertising on the Big Rich.
I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah, man. So John from Queens is a fella. He's support all the West Indian artists, you know, across the board, not just the Trinis, the Guyanese, the people from as far as like Suriname, Holland, anybody involved in the West Indian type culture, man. John from Queens is the man, you know what I mean? So man. And big up to everybody else, man. Yeah.
Yes. And okay, and before we was getting into the sobriquet part, right? I wanted to find out as well what type of music Soca Elvis loves.
Right. Okay. Well, as I said, so back in the 80s, I really, before I left Trinidad, when I was in Trinidad, I really liked back in the 1970s. I know a lot of people wouldn't comprehend what the 70s was like, but
That's
in the
okay.
1970s, yeah, in the 1970s, growing up in Trinidad, we loved just how the youths and them like the dancehall. There was a lot of big. We used to call it rockers. I don't know if you know what rockers is. Rockers is like the music of like Gregory Isaac and U-Roy. Well,
Yeah, man. Of course.
Peter
That's
Tosh,
what
yeah.
the
Yeah, yeah.
Isaac.
Iroll and U-Roy and Gregory Isaac and I mean I forget the names, it's so long ago. But I love my rockers.
So much.
Yeah, man. I love my rockers music and I love my soca
Rockers.
music. And then going to the States, I get to love rock music. So across the board, it kind of was embedded in me, all types of music. And
Yes.
so coming back home, I had my little stint with rock bands, and then I had my little stint with soca bands. And then I got fed up of being in a band,
Yes.
and it was a lot of pressure. So I wanted to go solo, you know what I mean? And sing at the Calypso tent and take it easier, where you just answer to yourself. You don't have to wait for a whole band, and you don't have to rehearse as much. I had like, up until I became Soca Elvis, I had close to maybe 20 years of being in bands and so on. I decided, you know what, I'm gonna pursue a solo act. And one day it hit me. I said, you know what, time for a name change, and maybe I could create something that everybody around the world could identify with. And I created the name Soca Elvis, and I said, what I will do with that, everybody knows who Elvis is, and everybody knows what soca music is. So I had the image. I used to have nice full hair and sideburns before I went the bald head route. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm gonna try an impersonation. Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah. You know, so basically, I created. I made some real nice costumes, and I took some of Elvis songs, and I put a soca beat to it, and I put my own lyrics. So I didn't copy. It wasn't 100% Elvis copy. It was just
correct.
Yeah, it was original soca style, but you know, mixing with the Elvis rock and roll. And I decided I'll do that, and that started like in the year 2000. So after being like 20 years in local rock bands and soca bands, Soca Elvis was born in the year 2000, and I was already in my 30s already by that time. You know what I mean? So it was a kind of mature decision to do. You know? Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And you mentioned this song as well with the rockers and stuff. You know what I would like to do at this time? I would like you to tell us this song, I Can't Help Falling in Love, right? We know it's a 3D remix.
Right.
So could you just give us that idea, like who wrote it, who produced it, you know, how that came about, you know?
No, but actually Can't Help Falling in Love is a real Elvis Presley classic song. That I was approached by Bobby Mohan of Workshop 868 from Diamond Village, his production company. And because of me being Soca Elvis, he was looking for somebody to do a remake of it in a Trini style. And he reached out to me, and I told him, sure, man. And right now he's one of my producers right now. We're working on some other stuff. And Bobby reached out to me, and he has a girl that sings in his band called Shazeena Ramsumair, and she's in the video. She's in the video as well too. And he did a real nice production of it. So that is a kind of song, like if you get a contract to go like perform on a cruise ship, or if you get to sing like at a wedding or something, you know, it more mature audience kind of vibes, you know, will appreciate that song. I'm not sure if the youths really know the song, you know what I mean? But I think the more mature audience, everybody know it, ain't?
Of course. Well, at this point in time, I'm gonna play the tune here for y'all, so y'all can take a little listen and we vibes a little bit. Okay, you know, we can just be talking, you know, and then vibes a little bit with the music. We're gonna do that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I'm falling for you, baby. Can't help myself. I'm falling for you, baby.
Body bass line for you a little bit. Hey.
Wise men Only fools rushing, but I can't help falling in love with you. Wise men say only fools rushing, but I can't help falling in love with you. Shall I stay? Would it be a sin?
Thank you very much.
I can't help falling in love with you. Like a river flows straight to the sea, and so it goes. Some ways I'm meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life to you. For I can't help falling in love with you. What? This one?
The lovely lady Shazeena Ramsumair.
Yeah! I'm meant to be. Take my hand.
DJ Slick Z.
For I can't help falling in love with you.
Yeah.
Wise men say only fools rushing, but I can't help falling in love with you. For I can't help falling in love with you. For I can't help falling in love with you. Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. Can't help falling in love. The Trini remix
Yeah,
by
so exactly.
Soca Elvis and
Yeah.
Shazeena Ramsumair, produced by World Cup 868, Bobby Mohan and his team. Oh my goodness. And I remember interviewing him a few days back. And boy, we jam for so.
Yes,
That
that's
interview.
the interview I looked at. Yeah, man. Nice work. That's it.
Yes,
Bobby.
yes.
Yeah, man.
And you know, it's really good to hear that. But you know, we ain't finished yet to know that song, that other song that I have here, it's called Rum Doh Bother Me.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
So who you did that song with?
Okay, that song actually was done approximately 10 years ago, 2010 into 2011. Big Rich, the big producer, the Pungaloons Factory. Yeah, that song was,
The biggity dance.
yeah, that song was written by Kelvin Kisoon, one of the big writers of the time, and Kelvin still writing big songs for guys like GI. He wrote a lot of songs for Ravi B. He wrote a couple songs for me and some of the other real big names in the industry. Kelvin Kisoon, you know him? You heard about him?
I don't really know him, but you can tell me, you know, you can give me a little idea so I could be able to be familiar with him. Kelvin Kisoon.
He wrote Drinker, You Can't Change Me No Way. That's one of the big songs he wrote for Ravi B. He wrote Rum Doh Bother Me. He wrote a song for me actually, but I took too long to decide on it, and my good friend SW Storm did it. A song called Me and My Friends Liming by the Bar.
Yes.
All day we liming and beating liquor. Bring the rum, bring the rum, bring the rum now. Me and my partners, we liming by the bar. Go something like that.
Right.
SW Storm. Big song. That was really my song. But
Right.
I was sticking on it, boy. I was sticking. I wasn't sure because I had to choose between By the Bar and a song called Why You Leave Me Darling, which he wrote as well
Oh.
too. I say, why you leave me, darling? I swear to God, I love you more than rum. I go in and stop the drinking, so just leave your father house and come. So I ended up choosing that one.
Yeah.
So my good partner SW Storm, he got By the Bar. So that's how it be sometimes, you know what I mean? And on the international market too, that happens a lot. Do you know people have written songs for Elvis
Yes.
Presley himself, and Elvis
Yes.
didn't take it, and it went on to become huge hits. It happened on about 2 or 3 occasions. There was a song written by Bruce Springsteen. You know Bruce Springsteen?
Yes, yes, remember the artist, yeah.
Yeah, Bruce Springsteen is a big international rock star from New Jersey. He wrote a song for Elvis Presley called called Fire. Called Fire. And
Yes.
Elvis didn't take it. And the Pointer Sisters, which is one of the great black female trio groups. This is before Destiny's Child and thing. The Pointer Sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. The Pointer Sisters took it and that went to #1. So things like that happen a lot in the international industry. And right here in Trinidad, you know, a young artist might write a song for Marshall. Marshall may not take it, but Kes might take it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These kind of things happen, you know what I mean? So that happens in the Chutney Soca industry as well too, you know, and it's all good.
We gotta be careful there.
Yeah, you know,
And before we play this song, I see here we also see here, you know, you can like and follow and share the page as well. Michael Salloum, Soca Elvis, right? So that's the Soca Elvis artist page, right? That was just shared by John from Queens, Mary.
Nice, you man. Know? Thank you, John, for sharing.
Yeah, man, and definitely. I know we have to make sure, you know, get in contact and stuff, but we'll come to that part shortly. But let me just play the song first and we'll come to that contact part and
yeah, man.
The cooking part afterward. So taking this one, guys. Yes. Okay, and I'll see what went on. Yes. Update from the top. Right. Now I get it there.
Rum Doh Bother Me, look, girl, don't vex with me. We beatin', we lick the whole line. Rum Doh Bother Me, look, girl, don't vex with me. We beatin', we lick the whole line. I made a narrow feeling. We drinking all night.
Good, how make tune.
We
got it up on the top. Got it up on the top.
Rum Doh Bother Me, look, girl, don't vex with me. We beatin', we lick the whole line. Rum Doh Bother Me, look, girl, don't vex with me. We beatin', we lick the whole line.
Oh, I don't see what it's on. Yeah, don't load it up. Hey! Be sure to like and share the live. Woo!
Want me to stop drinking, girl, never. It's me and me alone, girl, forever. You say you want me to stop drinking, girl, never.
Hey, hey.
Give me later, give me later, give me later.
DJ Slick T.
Yeah, man. So, I just had to play that one for you. Oh,
Yeah, man.
on that one, because that one is a real hit, boy. I listened to that, I was like, wee!
Yeah,
I
that's
said,
a big,
you will listen to that whole thing, boy. You go crazy, yes?
that was a
Yes,
big, that
man.
was a
So,
big.
I mean, and in terms of this, like, Soca Elvis, right? How have you been coping overall, during this sort of restriction, since like March last year till present? How have you been coping as an individual?
It's been tough. It was kind of strange at the beginning because nobody know when the entertainment industry is going to open back. So people started doing all these live these Facebook live performances, these
Yeah.
virtual shows, but that hasn't been financially rewarding. Nobody's been getting anything out of it financially, but I think we were
True.
able to reach out to a lot of fans internationally by just staying home right in your bedroom or in your living room
Yeah.
and doing a live, with a little speaker box, a microphone, and a guitar, and you do a live. You sing with your tracks. You do some karaoke, some instrumentals, and
Of course.
it's been real good. But then after a few months, when you realize, you have no money coming in, because you're doing all these lives and the
Mhm.
the clubs and the bars and things not opening back for you to go and perform, and the dance halls. It started to get a little frustrating, but me, luckily, I'm a businessman,
Yeah.
I do other stuff besides singing. So I'm one of the fortunate ones that, I'm out on the road, I do sales for a company, and I can handle my stories, but I know there's a lot of artists out there. It's been real difficult. The
For real.
true artist that gives it 100%. Now I give it 100%, but I don't wake up in the morning and say, okay, well, today I'm going in the recording studio. I'm spending 24/7 the rest of the week on a
Yeah.
recording and practicing, and so even though I'm a true artist to the heart, I do other things to survive. But then
Correct.
they have the other artists that needs it 24/7, and it's real difficult for them, So I want to say big up to Terry Lyons. Terry Lyons actually did a live show recently, and she asked business people to make some contributions for the
Yes.
artists that are going through some real stress. And she reached out even to me, and I reached out to a lot of other artists, and I said, Terry Lyons wants to know, if you need any assistance in any way, give her your name, give her your stage name, your ID number, and we might get something. You never know. Even if it's hampers, groceries, maybe a
Yeah,
check
for
from the
real.
government, whatever it is. Big up to the Ministry of Tourism too. The Ministry of Tourism was able to give us a one-off check for the artists that applied early. That
Yeah, I realize that. Yes, as long as I don't want to talk about that too much because
that
I
time
know there's
passed.
some people who applied and didn't get through as well. But no, I know that's that's a whole topic by itself.
Yeah. And then big up to the Copyright Organization of Trinidad and
Yeah.
Tobago. They reached out to a lot of artists who, has been knocking on the door and trying to get some airplay. And then, they gave out some royalties and too.
Yeah, I realize that. Yes, so recently, we had gotten some royalties as well from cuts, and I remember that as well. And yeah, right, so you're back there, Soca Elvis? I see you froze there for a moment. Yes. Are you hearing me now? All right, so you seem to okay. You seem to be getting a little technical thing with the man Soca Elvis himself. Right, so I'm seeing you like you're back
Yeah,
here, right? So
yeah.
Right. So what you was doing?
Yeah,
You was
man.
mentioning
Salloum.
about Qatar as well now. You was mentioning about the
Yeah.
thing about Qatar.
Yeah, big up the cut, big up the cut. They reach out to a lot of people. I suspect, I personally suspect that they realize a lot of the artists going through some tough times, and they probably
Yes.
they probably dig deep into their pockets and see how they could help, because because what I think they did was they went years and years back with the artists that weren't getting any
Yes, I remember that.
compensation. They probably,
Yes.
you know what I mean, you know how the copyright works, you get
Yeah.
something as a performer, you get something as a writer. So big up the cut, big up to Terry Lyons, big up to the tourism ministry for helping us so far. You know what I mean? As I say, they have
Mm-hmm.
the ones out there that really, really need it. The ones that breathe 24/7. I
Hmm.
I am a genuine bona fide artist, but I get up in the morning and I go out and I try to make ends meet otherwise, because right now it's real
That's
tough. It's real
important.
tough. I did a I did a
Yes, it is.
protest recently, yeah. Myself and Bobby Mohan and his son, we went outside Napa and we did a small concert asking the government to open back up the market with certain
Oh
rules and
yes, I saw that.
regulations.
That was when did that was? I saw something like that in Napa. We seem to be getting a little technical thing with the man himself, Soca Elvis, you know. So we are talking about the good vibes and
Yeah.
November.
Oh, it was no, I don't think it was as far back as November. No. No, that was this year.
I
That
think
was
it
this
was
year.
this year. It was this year. I couldn't
Yeah.
remember the exact date, but I remember seeing
Maybe
that
about
you all featured
maybe
as
about
well.
May, maybe about April, May kind of thing. It went really good. You know, the TTT News was there, the Express newspaper, big up to them. CNC3, we got some mileage from it, you know. What I was trying to say with that is that they have ways you could open back the industry in a safe way. Um,
Yes.
and I made all the points, you know, people could go look for it. They could go. I could ask John from Queens to put it up on my Facebook artist page after he could, if
Of
John
course,
could
and you can
put
share
it
it,
back.
and you can share it as well. I can share it as well to me, and I can share it as well too.
Yeah, and share that. You would hear everything, you know. I don't remember a lot of the stuff I said, but at the time it was good stuff, you know, that I was trying to explain. So hopefully things gonna be back open in a month's time. Maybe the artist could get
So
some
let's
gigs,
hope
you
so
know.
too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
And the,
cause
and
for
the
me,
DJ too. Yeah.
I'm also I'm a fellow artist as well. For me,
Right.
I also do reggae, um,
Right.
soca parang,
Right, Pam.
even
I saw that.
calypso as well.
I saw that.
Yes,
I saw
yes.
that. Yeah. I
So
went up
and
at the
I do different genres of music as well. So I'm also an
yeah,
artist. I'm an MC, a host.
MP, yeah.
I'm always affected by this, by this
Yeah.
pandemic as well. So I can relate to what you just said there. But we know we
Yeah.
still have to we at the end of the day we still have to make ends meet and
Yeah.
do what we
Yeah.
have to do. Right? We can't
Yeah.
just focus on this music alone and not do anything else. We must have something to fall back on.
Yeah.
Even though when
That,
the
that
entertainment industry comes back, we could have the opportunities as well to really gain that sort of exposure and do that thing up back, what we love as well. Because a lot of people waiting and eager. And what I can say too, right, as you know, you talk about soca in the industry as well, right? I remember there was a time where there was a few soca artists as well. I'm not sure if you had noticed this as well. That was Farman Happy, Iowa George, Nyla Blackman, Voice, Patricia Butts. There's a few of them who went out to the States, but they have Carnival as well.
yeah. Oh, you
Right,
mean
that
who?
was up there.
You mean who left Trinidad and flew up to
Yes,
to do
because I remember that the opportunities as well to really showcase the talent there.
right. Well, right. I'm glad you bring that up, because that's what I mentioned in my little protest. I mentioned that not everybody is going to get that opportunity from
Mm-hmm.
Trinidad. Let's say like Kes, Iowa, Kerwin Dubois, Nyla, Nadia Batson, just to call a few names, they would be, and Marshall, they would be given the opportunity to travel out to Miami Carnival, to, well, not Grenada. I heard Grenada had a little conflict. I heard
Yeah.
Grenada was like a kind of rebel carnival, they came out and they created their own carnival, under the restrictions. But Miami, Notting Hill Carnival, Labor Day, they still had a carnival from last year going into this year. And not, I mean, we have hundreds and hundreds of artists in Trinidad, and not all of us are going to get chosen or going to have a
True.
big hit this year to
That.
go out there. So the rest of us have to, as we say, we have to stay in Trinidad and suck salt, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so I not vexed, eh? I not vexed with the ones who get to
No,
go there because
you're talking
there
plain,
were, there were,
and we appreciate that.
yeah, there were times when I used to try fly out to every single carnival, but not every year. Not every year as an artist you get a big tune, a so-called big tune. You know what I mean? So,
Yes.
but nothing going on here. You have to have multiple forms of income. You know what I mean? You got to hustle, and you can't just sit back and depend on the music. You know, whether you're doing jingles for a company,
Mm-hmm.
whether you're recording, you know, like my good friend Bobby Mohan, I know he's a full-time, full-fledged entertainer. So he would either be recording jingles for a company, or he would be recording songs to put out in the future. Because he did one with Molly Ramcharan recently. I think we speak about it with Molly and Shazi. That's a big song that came out out of the
Yeah,
bookshop.
I know you talk about the Shazzy. I didn't hear about the Molly part. If I
Yeah,
could record as well.
you know?
But
Yeah, so
it's
you
so
have
much
people
artist.
so you have people like Bobby who's full-time into it, and so he not gonna just wait around to do live performances, you know. He would try to get artists to record by him and get his little income from that, that type of thing. But me now, I don't own a music studio, or I no longer
Okay.
have a music band. I'm a solo performer. So
Yes.
if I have to wait for somebody to call me to sing in a casino, in a wedding or something, I'll starve, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Hmm.
So that's it. That's the point I'm
Um,
trying to make, you know.
yeah, so it's really a lot to really go through as well, especially with these
Yeah.
musicians, you know. Again, for one thing, it's a whole, a whole set of things. And I mean, there are a lot of opportunities out there. And of some of them who could take advantage and others, unfortunately, unable to have that sort of resources as well. And what we
Yeah.
intend to do, this is just like our stepping stone, how I doing these live interviews as well. Because we're not doing just soca artists, we're doing chutney artists, we're doing
Right.
reggae, and then we're doing people who have their own business as well too. So,
Oh, that's good. Yeah, man. That's real
so
good.
all
Yeah.
that will be coming. All that will be coming as well. And what we are doing as well, we are also posting these, videos as well on YouTube, so that just in case, the live, people might see a whole set of things and like, oh, I can check on this, but just simply share the link, and I'm gonna be posting it up as well.
Right.
So
So
to be
before
looking
people
out
want
for
to
it.
hear the history of myself, I could tell them, send them that link and say, you'll hear from my childhood roots come back, you know what I mean?
Yes,
From
because a lot of people don't get that sort of opportunity. So I really create a platform so to get it's really a privilege to have a guy like you, Soca Elvis guy. I know you're so famous and you have so much of things you're doing, boy.
Thanks,
And I
man.
must
Thanks,
and
thanks,
I
thanks so
must
much.
say big up to Mikhail as well.
Yeah,
For
man.
really hooking up this
For
interview. I mean,
hooking up this with us, because as I said before, I wasn't um I not much on the social media, so it was nice to come
yeah, I
across your
like
stuff.
that.
I mean, even though I have my artist page, I don't I try I kind of think being on this is kind of cruel to say, but
No, well, you don't have to say you don't have to say it's good.
yeah, yeah, many years ago,
Yeah.
I was really hooked on Facebook. I was
Oh yes.
totally
All right.
hooked on it, and it was a big distraction. Sometimes
Yes,
you're
it is.
driving and you stop by a stoplight, and you go on and
You're right.
you want to know what's
You
going
need to,
on. And
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and
You take a phone.
it's kind of dangerous. It's kind of physically dangerous, and I think it's mentally dangerous too. So that's why I try not to, try not to live on it. But I'm very happy that people could go on my Facebook page and see concerts, and so that I may not answer you back. People will be inboxing and thing, but I may not answer back because I'm not as active on it as I used to be. But still, but I'm active. You could see my videos, you could see stuff on it, and that's how I try to keep it that way now. Yeah,
Right. So I see John just shared a link as well for YouTube, to share the playlist of his songs as well.
yeah.
Also, right. Also, how can persons, like, I know you have the Facebook page, I know you're not so active, but how can persons get in contact with you otherwise? Like if you have to do any kind of little shows or any little gigs,
Yeah, no, well,
anything like
yeah, my my number. I don't have a problem giving out my number if anybody wants to book
Sure.
me. Yeah, and you have my number. You could share it. For bookings 460-4048. 460-4048. Anybody wants to book me, they could just WhatsApp me, and I'm available for weddings, private parties, engagements.
Yes, I just shared it there with the viewers. 460-4048. So at least I
Yeah,
have it already, but I just share it for persons
yeah,
who want to get in
yeah.
contact with you as well. And I mean,
Eight six,
if
well,
you're
1868 for the international audience. So yeah.
yes, yes. And I want to thank you so much for being a part of this interview tonight. It was really an absolute pleasure. Soca Elvis, Michael Salloum, Zoom, whatever. It's so much, I think.
Yeah, well, I know I don't have the Elvis muff anymore, but
I realize that.
the name is with me, so that's why I decided to bring back Michael Salloum, aka Soca Elvis. So people, the way John would put my videos on, and so he would load up, he would hashtag the both names. So if you go not even hashtag, if you go on YouTube and you punch up Michael Salloum, Soca Elvis stuff will come up, and if you punch up Soca Elvis, Zoom stuff will come up too from back then. So it kind of works hand in hand. I really appreciate how John would hashtag and market this stuff for me, you know what I mean? So big up to him, man.
Yes, I know. Feel free if you have anybody who want to get get exposure and stuff. You can feel free. You can just message me. That's not a problem as well. And John as well. Big up yourself, man. And it's from New York, right?
Yeah, from New York. That's from New York. And
right.
I wanna big up my wife, Nads Entertainment, for letting me come through her Facebook page. That is my manager, man. So anybody give him a trouble, they had to pass through Nads Entertainment. That is my wife. Nadira Ramkisoon, thanks for letting me use your Facebook page, because as I say, my Facebook, my regular account has not really been active, but my Facebook artist page is very active.
Yes.
Yeah, man. So cool.
All right, man. So take care of yourself and have a good night, right? So
good night. Love up to everybody out there, man.
Right, and I'm gonna play this song to take us out right now. In times like this. I'm gonna take you out with this one. You can listen to it and come out of the live. We're gonna go do this next.
David Brother.
Hey!
In times like these, do we laugh or just cry? Do we sit down and ponder or reach for the skies? We have achieved, so we must celebrate. Raise your hand, people, if you think we great. Jubilation, celebration, Trinidadian, and Tobago. Raise your hand now, celebration, Trinidadian, Tobago.
Yeah, man!
Whatever you're looking back, songs of the fall of the Union Jack, and the rising of the red, white, and black. The leader saying no turning back, 'cause in times like these, do we laugh or just cry? Do we sit down and ponder or reach for the sky? Oh Lord! Celebrate, raise your hand, people.
DJ Slick T.
Celebration, Trinidadian and Tobago.
Hey!
Celebration, Trinidadian, Tobago.
So we locked on live and direct. So that was the man himself, Michael Salloum, aka Soca Elvis.
We've built a land, but problems are there.
In times like these.
To be done, let's shoulder the wheel.
Alright.
We've got to face tomorrow, no fair. Come join with me and show how you feel. 'Cause in times like these, do we
Yes, it is.
Raise your hand. Relation, celebration, Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh, yeah.
Celebration, Trinidadian,
Hey,
Tobago.
yeah. Whee! Get up! Whee! Hey!
Now as we grow, the problems grow too. Question, move as one, not depend on the few.
So that's what we're talking about. So that was the man himself, Michael Salloum, aka Soca Elvis. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the live. You know, if you haven't liked it as yet, please continue to like, share, leave your comments, bring positive vibes. We're gonna do this again. Wednesday night will be the next interview, so be on the lookout for more things to come. It was really an absolute pleasure and a privilege to have that interview done. So hope you guys have a wonderful night. Take care and stay safe. And big up to all the artists who tuned in as well to this live. Thank you.